Good afternoon, everybody, and happy Sunday. This is In the Moment Sports Cards. My name is James Hummel, better known as Dude Tops North on Instagram. It is April 18th, 2021. A few things to talk about this week. I've got a small stack of mail. Talk about this week's cards, and then also dive in a little bit into my favorite passion with throwback, turn back the clock cards, parallels, and on and an auto. But we'll get to that. So, hope everybody had a good week. Lots of things happened in this past week with cards. We'll get right into what kind of things I received in the mail. Only one Topps Now card this week, which was the Bundesliga for Nauf rookie card. It's always different. Sadly, no parallels with this one. I think there was a parallel, but I can't remember. Lots of Panini instant cards. I've got like 3 shipments in the span of a week. First up was, put them in order, Norman Powell, former Raptor. Short print run on that one, 72. Fairly decent. Actually, most of these are under 100. Anisis? I don't even know how to pronounce this guy's name. Anyway, and another short print run of 79. Jordan Nwora, rookie. Even for a rookie, had a short print run of only 88. Kevin Porter Jr., that guy's name I can pronounce. And he only had a print run of 77. Another Zion. This one obviously printed a little bit higher, given that it's Zion, 251. Moses Brown rookie card. And that print run was an even 200. Aaron Gordon. Same thing. Even print runs, which is kind of shocking. 100. We've got a Russell Westbrook. This is probably the lowest print run out of all of them. This one was only 64. Crazy, crazy. And then we've got the triple rookie that I showed off in the weekly highlights from a couple of weeks ago from Detroit. Sadiq Bey, Sabine Lee, and Isaiah Stewart. That one, again, even though it was a triple rookie, I guess maybe because it's Detroit, at a 90. And then the last one was an Anthony Edwards. And of course, because it's a rookie card and he's hot, that one was at a 649. So that was it for this week. I'm hoping to get some more Topps cards this week. I'm F1. Hopefully in 2 weeks, I should have my first F1 for the season. Anybody watch the race this morning? It was a spectacular race. I do have a group on Facebook if you're interested and you aren't familiar with the Topps Now F1. Just go on to Facebook and search up for Topps Now F1. It's a fairly decent group. I keep it to just F1 and Topps products, Chrome, Match Attacks. But yeah, it was an exciting race this morning. They started out in the rain in Italy, and always, rain creates a lot of different havoc for the drivers. There were some smash ups. We had Hamilton started pole position, and he wiped out, and he went all the way back to like 9th place, and he ended up fighting back to get to 2nd, which was just a fantastic drive. And Verstappen, he was able to get into the lead right off the start, and he led pretty much the entire way. So hopefully we'll see a Verstappen card. I asked in my group what they thought would be some good cards to highlight for this past race. So, obviously Verstappen winning. What's the guy's name again? Who placed 3rd? I can't remember now for the life of me. I'm tired today. Lando Norris. Thank you. That was it. Lando Norris, first time on the podium, so hopefully that'll give him a card. And then who knows, maybe a Hamilton card, his 30th track for getting pole, and for that fight from the back. Rick's joined us again, and it's definitely going to be a max. Absolutely. I'm thinking maybe a parallel. And maybe that's kind of the things that we're going to see with the parallel cars are the if they do highlight the winner of the race, maybe it'll be they'll do the parallels for the winner. But who knows? Maybe we'll see a couple of cards this coming week with some parallels. All right, so moving along, let's talk about the cards that were released this week. NBA was actually a bit of a quiet week. There were only the 5 that came out. The big one for me was Michael Flynn for the Raptors. Raptors are sucking it big time this season, but Michael Flynn had a really good game earlier this week and with a double-double. But he was really the only rookie card for this past week. The one kind of card that I'm really disappointed in was this Doncic card. You can barely see him. I know it was a game-winning shot, but you can barely see the guy in this photo, and it's a really odd photo choice for a Panini instant card. Yeah, well, hopefully they don't make that kind of mistake again in the future. Moving from NBA Panini to Upper Deck EPACT. I'm sorry I can't get these images sorted out. I don't know why the EPACT cards. You know what? It's just a reflection of this program. So as much as there's been issues with EPACT in the last couple of months, this week was actually kind of seamless. There was only 3 cards. I was able to pick them up, no problem. I did buy 2. Upper Deck loves the Leafs because 2 out of the 3 cards were obviously Leaf cards, and the third was the Kessel. I was lucky enough to get 2 of the gold for the 2 Leaf players. So yeah, hopefully this is what it's going to be like for the rest of the season. I don't think the season's got much left, right? It should only be about another month or 2 left in the season, and because it's stressful trying to buy these darn cards, and it really shouldn't be. Yeah. So moving from EPACT onto Topps Now Soccer, lots of games going on in the Champions League. Probably my favorite out of all of them was the Bellingham. This particular card, something different instead of, kind of these running away after a goal or, just kind of boring cards. This one's kind of interesting. Now, there was, if you haven't looked at the product page for this particular card, there will be parallels for this particular Bellingham card. There was a social media post for this Bellingham from Topps UK. The interesting part about the post, and while I'm talking, I'm going to try and find it, maybe share it, is that they show off the, let's see here. They show off the parallels in one-touch cases, which is unusual because usually when you receive a parallel for Topps Now, or even Throwback Thursday, or Turn Back the Clock rather, they come either sitting amongst, if you buy a bundle of 5 cards, this one particular parallel card is sitting in with the balance of the cards. It's not in any kind of a special case, one-touch case. It's just in one of their 5, 10, 20 card cases. But yeah, the Twitter or Instagram, I think, for Topps UK shows the parallels in one-touch cases. So, that kind of raised the question of, are they going to send out parallels, start sending parallels out in one-touch cases? And I've actually found the photo, so bear with me here. I'm just going to switch over to that particular screen to show you. Let's get to the Chrome tab. Here we go. Yeah, so there it is. Kind of interesting that they would, like, they usually show the parallels on the product page. If you scroll through all the photos of the particular card that they're selling, they will show what the color variations look like for the parallels. But the interesting part is that, as you can see, they're showing them in one-touch cases. So is Topps changing things up? If you do buy these cards and you do hit a parallel, let me know how it comes. I'd really be interested to see if this is something new that they're going to do just for Champions League, or if they are going to do this for all products, or they just kind of screwed up and showed them off like this. And it's obviously a little bit of false advertising. And Rick's just asking, did anyone ask if they'd been sent in one touches? That's a good question. Let's have a look at the comments here. Rick, just quickly. No, just a lot of people complaining. Oh, here it is. Will they come in a mag, a one touch? And it doesn't look like there's any responses. No, I don't want to respond to that. No, it doesn't look like that was just the one question, Rick. So, yeah, it's interesting. I guess we'll see soon enough if that is the case. So, but it's exciting. Hopefully it's it would be interesting to see. They've had problems with one-touch cases. So if you purchased, if you did purchase any of the Project 2020 last year, they had a lot of problems getting supply. They started out with Ultra Pro one-touch cases for the Project 2020 cards, and they ran out because I might have mentioned it in previous streams. They didn't anticipate the response that they got for Project 2020. You know, if you look back at the print runs for the late, like 90, 85 up to 100 or so, it exploded. You know, there's the one particular card, the Griffey Keith Shore card that was like close to 100,000 cards. They weren't expecting that. They were kind of expecting that range of like 3,000 to 5,000, and it just exploded the set. So they actually move the cards out of, say, Ultra Pro into BCW, and then at one point they had some kind of like no-name brand, and they don't match up the size. Like if you look at some of them, some are shorter, some are thicker. It was just, yeah. So it's interesting to see that they're showing these parallels off in a one-touch, because they may end up running out again, because some of these are on short supply too. Rick's saying apparently they've purchased one of their suppliers on those to hopefully resolve some of those issues. So that's kind of interesting. Obviously, with Project 70, which is the new kind of Project 2020 for this year, it's 1,070 cards. They're going to need a massive supply of those one-touch cases for Project 70. So if they've bought that particular supplier out, maybe they are going to be making, you know, the 35-point one touch, and maybe they will start sending some of these parallels out in one touch cases. It'd be great, because I try to put all of my parallels into these one touch cases because I just like the look of it. I may not necessarily grade them. Some I may eventually, but I like to have them a little bit, you know, better protected and nicer to look at instead of a top loader. All right, so moving off from the soccer world over to baseball. This week was popular with kind of throwback cards to older players. We had 3 cards where they, the current player achieved something that kind of eclipsed or matched the older players. So, you know, there was one with Garrett Cole and David Cohn, one with Acuna and Hank Aaron, and then one with the Scherzer and Cy Young. I really like these cards. I like that kind of throwback to, you know, showing the player, you know, if the current player did achieve something and they surpassed the older player. I really like seeing that comparison. The photography is great on some of these cards. You know, having a look at this particular one with Hank Aaron, you know, this is a photo from 60s, 70s. You know, it's they really nice. And sometimes on the flip side, they will also have a secondary picture of the older player. So really popular with myself. They did have the Jackie Robinson Day card. So again, this is a one that they do every year, showcasing all the players, and usually some of the major players are, let's say, major rookies of the season in their uniform with the 42 on it. So again, on this one, on the back, it usually has a couple of players, and I believe the back of this one has Vlad Guerrero Jr. on it. Of course, I had to highlight my Blue Jays, Bo Bichette. had a walk-off home run this past week, and so they highlighted that one. It's a great shot with him kind of doing the three-pointer shot coming into home plate. Joey Votto is a Canadian boy, so obviously had to show this one off with the triple play. This one was just from yesterday. Ohtani, he's hot. You know, his cards hopefully are going to gain some steam again. And then obviously Yadier Molina surpassed set the record for most starts by a catcher with the single team. I thought this was a really nice tribute. You know, they paid tribute to the player during the game. He caught the first strike. If you didn't see the highlight, he caught the first strike or first pitch, and everybody kind of came out and gave him a round of applause, standing ovation. So really nice moment. Again, exactly what these cards are geared towards. So moving away from the base cards, there were quite a few autographs. You know, we're seeing more and more autographs this season. So, you know, there's going to be a lot of opportunity to get some autographs out of the Topps Now program. You know, we had JD Martinez, ties MLB record following 3 home run performance, which means he's going to get a bonus card. And again, that's related to the Topps Now Road to Opening Day spring training sets. Again, if any team has a player that hits 3 home runs in a one particular game, will get a bonus card. So they'll probably have a card that looks similar to this, which will have kind of that gold background or coloring to it. Rodon, he pitched a no-hitter, which means that'll be another bonus card for the White Sox. They did the Molina autograph. And then the Acuna Jr., he's hot again. You know, his cards just are gaining some speed or steam rather, and becoming more and more popular. His rookie cards are ridiculous. It is interesting that the autograph cards are really gaining some, I wouldn't say importance, but gaining some popularity. If you're familiar with the app Clubhouse, which is kind of like a live podcast, voice only social media application, it's really interesting. I've gone on there a few times this week because there's a few baseball rooms or rather sport card rooms. A lot of people are talking about the autographs, and people are trying to get some of these autographs. So it's really interesting to see that Topps Now is gaining momentum and gaining popularity, which is great. I'm happy to hear that. Carvin Chung, who is probably one of the better known individuals, personalities in the hobby, he's a platinum member, and he talks up Topps Now all the time in Clubhouse. Him and I are always, if we're on at the same time, we always talk about Topps Now. So yeah, really happy to see that it is gaining popularity with collectors. And then finally, turn back the clock. So some interesting cards here this week. I think probably the most interesting one was this William Taft, President Taft card, throwing out the first pitch. So I'm assuming he was one of the first presidents that threw out the first pitch at a game. So this is one that I picked up. This was a fairly low print run for this particular card. Yeah, so that was an interesting one. Rick making another comment here saying, maybe I'll have to start looking at moving a few of my older non-PC Now autos. It might be time, Rick. I think it might be time. You know, if you look at secondary market prices for autographs for Topps Now, you know, unless it's within the first couple of days or even weeks of the card being available, after that, the price is just kind of like dive to either what it was for retail or even lower. Some steals out there, but who knows? Maybe that means the market is paying attention to Topps Now autos, and we'll see some momentum. And speaking of Topps Now autos, there was an auto this past week for Mike Schmidt. So again, there aren't many of the turn back the clock autos. There was this one. I can't remember what the other one was from last season. There was one or two from last season. So this is the only one that they've had so far. I ended up picking one up. Again, it was a reasonable price. It was $79.99 for the blue out of 49. Nothing out of 99. And I did use my $40 coupon, which is now working. No, sorry, I think I only used a $20 coupon. Actually, no, I used a $40 coupon. If you hadn't heard me mention for the last couple of weeks, the rewards program hasn't been working very well for Tops Now. You could only get up to $20. The $40 coupons weren't working, so they finally got that fixed on Friday, and I was able to use a $40 coupon to pick up this Mike Schmidt. I'm hoping that these autographs are sent fairly quickly because, you know, they're not active players, obviously, or most of them are not active players, and you know, they'll be able to get them out to collectors' hands quickly. So those were the releases from this past week. And then the only other thing I wanted to talk about, because I up until now I haven't really talked about, if I didn't crack my case here. Oh, gosh. I don't know, maybe. Anyway, is with the Turn Back the Clock program or series, they also do parallels. And you've heard me mention it before. I love parallels with Tops Now. With the Turn Back the Clock, they only do 2 different parallels. They do these red cherry cards, which are out of 7, kind of an odd number. And then they do these ash, which are out of 3. So, you know, given the print runs are a few hundred, it's kind of difficult to get these parallels. I've been really lucky. Outside of 2 that I bought, you know, I've hit 2, 4, I've hit 5. So these were all from last year. I've hit 5 out of my packs. Yeah, so here are some of the ones that I picked up. Again, I'm a fan of Big Sexy, so I was really happy to get, and this was the first one that I received with the parallel, 1 out of 7. Really like that card. Ended up getting a Joe Torre. This one was out of 7 as well. This one actually I'm not very happy with because there was something wrong with this card. I can't remember what it was. Maybe it was another one. I purchased the Frank Thomas from Twins Jake, who is a well-known Tops Now group buyer. So this one was out of 7. Again, because it was a Blue Jay, I really, really wanted it. And then I have 2 of the Roger Clemens. One I was able to get out of a 5-card bundle, and the other one I purchased off of Twins Jake again. So I've got 1 and 4. So maybe I should try and get all 7. We'll see. And then with the out of 3, the Ash, super lucky to get a Babe Ruth. Right, this was one of the higher printed runs for the Turn Back the Clock series last year. So super pumped that I got out of a 3. Gary Carter, former Expo, sadly not in an Expo uniform. This is when he was with the Giants, but again, a catcher. I'm a big catcher fan, Carter fan. That one that I got out of 3. And then finally a Jim Palmer out of 3. That one was a 3 out of 3. So really happy with that. And that's why I like to pick up ones like the William Taft. I think that's kind of a cool one. Be interesting to have that one as a parallel. Probably slowing down a little bit with the Turn Back the Clock, just because of it's out of control. I need to slow down on what I'm buying with the Tops program. So that's it for this week. You know, some exciting things that will come up this week will be obviously the Formula 1 cards. So hopefully we'll see those around Wednesday or Thursday. And obviously baseball, will be happening. Lots of things happening this week. So again, thank you for watching. Let me know what you'd like me to talk about. As always, you know, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, drop me a comment. I always publish my live streams on my YouTube channel once I'm done. You know, hit me up in a comment there. I do read them. I try to respond to them as much as possible. Let me know what you like. Let me know what you don't like. Let me know what you'd like me to talk about. So thank you for watching. Have a great week, and we'll see you next Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern.